Right?
But we knew that Ezekiel precept, bro. It's just we just got to start a little up, and it's like, bro, the way that linked. Oh God, that was hot.
But it would be the classics.
Yeah.
It'd be around classics.
Mhm.
Cause I ain't never just seen that other part though. I
Yeah,
gotta
me
go.
either.
I gotta go see it again.
He said, I gotta
It
go
was
see
like
it.
chapter 11, wasn't it?
Yeah, right above where it says I should give them little sanctuaries.
Cause bro, I used to have that precept in my bag. I used to. Well, sanctuary slam, but never that Kendrick not us wizard. Holy are they unto me. Get you far from the Lord unto us. Oh man, that's hard though.
And then in the NLT was hitting so much like, ah man,
Bro,
that's
when you send it to me in the other translation, it's crazy because I was already looking through the other translation, so the same, it was in the same spirit. I was so tired though. I wanted to get in the spirit with you, but nigga, I was tired.
I get it. It's like that, man.
I think we start getting it in again like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bro. Cause I ain't gonna bull crap you like you know that big book I got that damn near got everything in it.
Yeah.
I had looked through there to see if I could find anything about Paul's ministry. Cause you know, it'd be giving little details like that, little secular history or something like that. I was looking through there and I couldn't find nothing. I'm like, man, it's weak. So then I went and grabbed my other book. I went and grabbed my Greek book and my Roman book. Reason why I grabbed them is because they got maps in it. The Greek map didn't help me out at all. Roman map helped me out a little bit. And then I was like, let me go grab my other book. The other book was
Grab my other book.
the other book was Bible timelines and so on and so forth. Bible maps and timelines. So I went and grabbed that. That's like it got Paul's first journey,
It's
which
second.
is bro, it got his first, his second, third, and when you're reading in Acts, you can follow along with it so much easier. Like on his first journey, I put like Acts 13 to like Acts 15. And the second journey begins in the middle of Acts 15, and then it goes on. I haven't actually read through the rest of it because it's kind of mighty, but bro, we just gonna have to get through that, bro. I have to show you because it's real dope,
I know it make Acts way more plainer because, like, if you don't know any better, you think it's all in the same time period.
bro. It's confusing because I'm hearing names I don't know, like Iconium. I don't know what Iconium is.
Bro,
They got Lystra, and
hey,
then go.
how you know though? Because Iconium is in Galatia.
Yeah, I didn't know Galatia. See, look, I didn't know Galatia
Was like
was a
a
region.
yeah, it's a whole little. It's its own little state.
Yeah,
It's its own little stuff,
yeah.
and
And
they got.
so Iconium is a city in the region of Galatia. So it all made sense. I'm like, this shit, wow.
So when he sent the letter to the Galatians, it made way more sense now.
Mm-hmm.
It's not to just you got different cities in that basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely slam.
That's hot.
The
It's
most
hot.
made gangsters scholars. Shalom, Officer Dahawam. Matter of fact, shalom to everybody that's in the chat. And as you come in, drop something in the chat so we know who all in here rocking with us. Last time we went live, we went over Elijah. Um, man, Elijah, man, we really need to throw the great before his name because he did a lot of crazy stuff. He was a mighty prophet. I think when you go into the blue letter, it'll tell you that he was a great prophet. And he's not just a regular prophet. He's a well-known prophet, and we're gonna read more about him today because he did so much stuff, man. So we're gonna try and cover a little bit more ground. Shalom, shalom, Walinda, shalom. Um, Man, how you want to kick it off?
We can get into it because we kind of just talking a little bit. I think we gave space for people to come in, so we can open up and get into it.
Um, Current. All right, so first and foremost, we're going to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shah. From the title, you already can read yourself. It says Elijah Part 2. We did a Part 1. The base of kind of what we using to go into this lesson is Sirach chapter 48. We only got through like 3 verses, 3 or 4 verses, because what we start getting into was so mighty. So we kind of gonna pick up from verse 4. We'll kind of pick up from verse 4. Well, I guess I can start from 1 and kind of just so y'all can kind of see what we already went over. I can't remember everything we touched on, but I know we was in 2 Kings chapter 1. I'm gonna just get into it. It says, Sirach 48:1. It says, "Then stood up Elias the prophet as a fire, and his word burned like a lamp." It says he brought a sore famine upon them, and by his zeal he diminished their number. By the word of the Lord he shut up the heaven, and also 3 times brought down fire. Oh, Elias. So Elias is talking about Elijah. So it says, "How was thou honored in thy wondrous deeds? And who made glory like unto thee?" So we went into the different accounts that it talked about and showed you the first-hand accounts on where it happened, how Elijah pulled down fire, called fire down from the firmament, how he was diminishing people with that fire, how he was rebuking fake prophets, and he had them pray to their God, and he told them to pull fire from sky and to start an altar. Um, but they wasn't able to do it. He was able to do it though. He was scoffing them, mocking them. He was just sunning them, as he should, for them being false prophets. And he did all of that just to win the children of Israel back over. So it wasn't for any reason why he did those things. It was for a greater cause, just to get his people to believe on the name of Yahweh again, because we started serving other gods. Man, he caused famine to happen. Man, he was. I mean, what else? What else am I missing out, Ron? We went over. I feel like we went over other stuff too.
We kind of touched on how he was a zealot. He was fiery for the Most High God, but it felt like we touched on a lot because we had to read a lot of accounts, like the fire falling down from heaven. There was just two separate accounts because he burned up 2 companies of 50. The king's 50, because the king has sent to inquire of another god, of Beelzebub, right? We had read about that, and Elijah had to give him word, like, is there not a God in your land? Is there not the God of of Israel that you inquire of this God? So the Most High God punished the king and his 50, so on and so forth. And then the other account that you briefly touched on, him calling down fire from the heaven to burn up the sacrifice to the Lord. He killed the man of Baal, all his prophets. He was also we also went over how he fasted 40 days and nights. He's one of a few men who fasted 40 days and 40 nights. We also went over how he lived during the time of Jezebel. Jezebel wanted him dead on many occasions, but Most High God had grace and mercy upon him. I mean, when you summarizing it up, it sounds short, but when you actually get into the details of the story, which is what we did last time, it actually amounts up to a lot of information. That's why we only stopped at verse 3, because we had to read a lot of information just to get those details, because a lot of people may not know the details of Elijah. You know, you may go into the New Testament and read a little bit and be like, you know, John the Baptist came in the spirit of Elijah. You know, you kind of get that, and you see Elijah pull up on Christ, and you know, yeah, you know, that's Elijah. But you don't really get the details on what he did.
Mm-hmm.
You know, First Kings and Second Kings kind of boring, so you know, you kind of just take people word for it, and you kind of, you know. But when you actually get into First Kings, when you actually get into Second Kings, when you actually get into Chronicles, when you get into these books, when you get into books like Judges, right? They're not boring. They're not. You just don't know how to read good. If you want me to keep it plain, you got to read like it's a movie. You got to picture it in your head. You got to imagine what's going on. You got to set the scene. You know, that's why it sounds so good when other brothers bring it out. You like, damn, when I read it, it didn't read like this. That's because you got to actually get into the. You got to actually get into it. You got to get into the scriptures. You can't just sit there and read it like it's a damn novel and just go, you know, like it's basic. Like, you know, I kind of just gotta read it. That's not how we read the word of the Lord, and you're not really gonna get too much nutrients from it. But it's like, yeah, it's pretty much a recap of what we did. You want me to read verse 5 for you?
Yes, sir.
Kind of verse 5. It says, "Who didst raise up a dead man from death, and his soul from the place of the dead, by the word of the Most High."
It actually say what it say. He brung a man's soul from the dead and put life back in the man's body. So the account, we got to get the account. So I believe the account is 1 Kings 17. And man, we got to just read it.
God, I can start it. Shit, it's only 24 verses. Where you want me to start at?
Let's start at verse 10.
All right. First Kings 17:10. It says, "So he arose and went to Zarephath. And when he came to the gate of the city, behold, the widow woman was there gathering of sticks. And he called to her and said, Fetch me, I pray thee, a little water in a vessel, that I may drink. And as Slakin, and as she was going to fetch it, he called to her and said, Bring me, I pray thee, a morsel of bread in thine hand. And he said, As the Lord thy God liveth, Slakia. And she said, As the Lord thy God liveth, I have not a cake, but a handful of meal in a barrel, and a little oil in a cruse. And behold, I am gathering 2 sticks, that I may go in and dress it for me and my son, that we may eat and die. And Elijah said unto her, Fear not, go and do as thou hast said, but make me thereof a little cake first, and bring it unto me, and after me, so I can after make for thee and thy son. For thus saith the Lord God of Israel, the barrel of meal shall not waste, neither shall the cruse of oil fail, until the day that the Lord sendeth rain upon the earth."
All right. So look, you got this strange man coming to you. You a widow woman. All you got is your son. Y'all really ain't got no more food. Mind you, Elijah caused a famine to happen in the land. So you got your last rations. You don't even know that this man is really a prophet from God. He say, hey, like, give me some water. You're like, all right. Then he say, hey, give me a piece of bread too. Give me one of those cakes. You're like, I don't really got no cakes. All I got is a little bit of food. Me and my son, I was finna dress it. That's what these sticks is for. I was finna dress it. So me and my son, dress just means to prepare. Like you'll see that in the scriptures where he'll say like, oh, I'm finna go dress this lamb. It means to prepare. You a butcher it, do what you got to do and prepare it. And you can read that. I want to say in like Genesis, maybe 17 or 18 with Abraham when the 3 angels put up on Abraham. Or it might be 22. See, now my memory getting crazy. But anyways, that's the thing. She said, all I got is a little bit of food. And he like, all right, well, still just make me a little cake. And the food that you got for you and your son, it's going to last you. It's going to last you all the way until the Most High causes the rain on earth. How did that's how you cause a famine when the land is not getting enough nutrients, when the land is not getting enough rain. That's why rain is so important. If the Most High stops it from raining, that means your crops ain't gonna grow. Rain is super important. I know a lot of times in this society, we don't even think about it no more because we're not doing any agricultural land. We're not tilling the ground. A lot of us aren't farmers. A lot of us are grown as city boys, city kids, inner city kids, inner city, inner city. It kind of goes into you being um, um, a so-called black, native, or Hispanic man, woman, child, and being in the ghettos. That's what the inner city kids are known for. Going to um, public schools, Section 8 housing, low income homes. That's what it's going into. Um, but to get to the point, we're gonna keep reading.
Salaki, I want to touch on something real quick.
All right.
Verse 13, it says, And Elijah said unto her, Fear not, go and do as thou said, but make me thereof a little cake first, and bring it unto me, and after make for thee and thy son. So just to give you a little insider on how stuff worked back then, he said, Go and make me something to eat before you make you and your son something to eat. She didn't rebel. She didn't say, what's the word, misogynist. She didn't say, why should I make you something to eat before I'm prepare me and my son something to eat? No. When a man of your nation come unto you, and you may be a widow, now if you were married, she would probably direct you to her head. But she's a widow. She's gonna fall in order. That's the first thing she did. She fell in order, and she did as he said. That's how much respect our women had for us back in those times. That's the amount of respect. She didn't even know this man. And she prepared a meal before she prepared a meal for her son, before she prepared a meal for herself. That's the amount of respect that we got to get back to. Salaki, go ahead.
Hey, stop expecting if your husband or the leader of your camp or your church asks you to do everything is not going to make sense in your eyes. Everything does not have to make sense to you for you to fall in order and to carry out commands. Because this don't make sense probably to her. If I do this, we gonna starve. That's what it looked like. But not even considering that this man is strictly sent from the Most High God, and he finna restore your whole family. Hey, let's keep reading though, because we can keep talking it up about this one. But we on a mission. We gotta get through how many verses inside, right?
There's a couple of them.
Like 16, so we gotta keep moving.
For sure. Verse 15. And she went and did according to the saying of Elijah.
All praise to the Most High.
And she and he and her house did eat many days.
Look at that. That was supposed to just be enough, just a little bit, just enough for one day, but they ate many meals, many days. Come on.
Verse 16. And the barrel of meal wasted not, neither did the cruse of oil fail, according to the word of the Lord, which he spake by Elijah. And it came to pass after these things that the son of the woman, the mistress of the house, fell sick, and his sickness was so sore that there was no breath left in him. And she said unto Elijah, What have I to do with thee, O thou man of God? Art thou come unto me to call my sin to remembrance and to slay my son?
So she's saying, what am I going to do, O thou man of God? Are you coming to make me pay for the sins that I committed long ago? Now she recognizes Elijah as a man of God. The cruse of oils lasted. The meat, the food that she had in the barrel lasted. I'm really interested. If you don't know what's going to happen and how things is finna turn out. Y'all gotta stick around. This is important. It's hot.
Verse 19. And he said unto her, Give me thy son. And he took him out of her bosom and carried him up into a loft, where he abode and laid him upon his own bed.
Mm-hmm.
And he cried unto the Lord and said, O Lord my God, hast thou also brought evil upon the widow with whom I sojourn by slaying her son? And he stretched himself upon the child 3 times and cried unto the Lord and said, O Lord my God, I pray thee, let this child's soul come into him again. Salakia. I'm so sorry, Salakia. I got to touch on this real quick. Real quick. How does Elijah know to pray for this? How does...
Because I would have counted. I would just called it what it was. The most I called him home, it would have just been another one. It
would have been that.
It would have been another one of those.
It would have been straight that, bro. It would have been just straight that.
But this is why he Elijah, bro, because he's a zealot. He's just zealous.
Bro.
He don't want it to go like that. He in the spirit, bro. Hey, bro, I'll say this. Whenever, bro, you know how it be whenever you just in the spirit. You just feel unstoppable. You feel like you can take a whole slug. When I say slug, that's a shotgun shooting at you. You feel like you can take a bullet. No, I promise you. When I first came into the truth, just being on fire and so zealous at any given moment, I don't know. It just feel like anything could happen and you just gonna prosper in it. You feel it's almost like like a superhero kind of power because you're so naive. Like you just so hot. You literally, I can't explain it. You're so hot. You just feel like a superhero, bro. So he can just do different stuff, bro. You can see when different demons trying to attack you when you're in the spirit. When you're not in the spirit, you just getting beat up. You just see things on a spiritual level when you're in the spirit. That's what I'm trying to say. So he probably just in the spirit and was like, nah, bro, this ain't how it's supposed to go. It's on you though.
Like a lot of people love to, not saying we do, but a lot of people love to just go to the New Testament and look at the miracles done in the New Testament and think they were only done there, you know? Think that was the first time that ever happened or so on and so forth. It's like, nah. And from my understanding, there is no account before this of a man raising another man from the dead. From my understanding, it may be one, but from my understanding, this is the first time we see an account where a man raises somebody from the dead. Like I said, there very well could be. I just can't remember it right now. But who knows? Maybe there was people, because I'm thinking, how would Elijah know how to do this? Like Mar said, he was filled with the spirit to the brim to where he could understand this power can happen. I mean, the Most High God, it's nothing too hard for the Most High God. The scriptures speak about that. So that's probably why he thought he could do it. Or there may have been people being raised from the dead back then that's not accounted for in the scriptures. Who knows? But the fact that he even thought to pray over this child to bring his spirit back into him shows you how powerful and mighty Elijah is. Elijah could make requests like this from the Most High God.
Yeah.
Like Mahar said, we would have counted it a loss. We would have chalked it up to that was it, you know. Not so with Elijah. That's not the case with him. He said, return his soul unto his body. I wouldn't even know how to begin to approach the Most High God on this subject to bring someone back to life. I would already be going in with doubt. That's why it wouldn't work for me. But Elijah, there is no doubt with Elijah. You know, he already know the spirit of the Most High God. Everything he say it with confidence because he knows it's going to come to pass. This is how much spirit, this is how much trust he had in the Most High God. This is why his name holds so much weight. This is why he's mentioned in the honorable men. This is why he's named the glory of his time in Sirach chapter 48. Because he was just powerful. What's Salakia? I keep reading.
His name in the Hebrew means my God is Yahweh. That's hot.
Hmm.
That's with a name like that, you ain't got no choice but to just be hard.
You gotta be hard after
You
that.
gotta be mighty, bro. My God is Yahweh. Imagine somebody asking you your name in this society, and you just like, my God is Yahweh. They'd be confounded. Well, we can get it in. Let's get it in.
It makes sense. Eli, God, Yah. Well, we know that ain't no J there. Yah, Yahweh, God,
Mhm.
Yahweh. In the Hebrew, it's simple.
God,
God, Yahweh.
God, Yahweh. Look at how it break down like that. God, Yahweh.
Straight up.
That's
You just
hard, bro.
ask him his name, you know who he served already off tops. It ain't no
Bro,
confusion there.
bro.
It ain't no
Sheesh.
confusion.
Oh, that's hard.
All
That's hard.
right. Verse 20. I'm gonna read verse 20. Again, it says, and he cried unto the Lord and said, O Lord my God, hast thou also brought evil upon the widow with whom I sojourn by slaying her son? And he stretched himself upon the child 3 times and cried unto the Lord and said, O Lord my God, I pray thee, let this child's soul come in unto him again. And the Lord heard the voice of Elijah, and the soul of the child came into him again, and he revived. And Elijah took the child and brought him down out of the chamber into the house and delivered him unto his mother. And Elijah said, see, thy son liveth. That's
Yeah.
funny. That's funny. I'm going to finish it out. I'm going to finish out before we touch on it. Verse 24. And the woman said to Elijah, now by this I know that thou art a man of God, and that the word of the Lord is in thy mouth. Slack, and that the word of the Lord in thy mouth is truth.
Yeah. That's bro, look, this just made sense to me. This is a child. This is a child. He picked this little dude up and put him in his bed, brought him back
Mhm.
out of his bed, handed him to his mama. It makes sense why she said, thou hast come to repay me for my sins. I mean, a child is a child. He ain't really did nothing, probably.
Mhm.
He probably ain't got a whole bunch of. So this was well understood, even back then. The Lord will, for you, if you keep being wicked, the Most High God, He will do. He will cause strange stuff to happen to you. He will take away your loved ones. He'd do all of that. The lines that you think God won't cross, He's been and crossed those lines.
Right.
He been like that.
Yo, Salaki, real quick, because
Yeah.
Kent brought this up last week. A lot of people say I won't be um the child can't be judged for his father's sin or so on and so forth. When you actually go into that, if I'm be honest, that's dealing with the priest. The priest can't judge a child based off the father's sin. The priest cannot, they cannot, or the judges, they cannot say, hey, you committed this sin, so now give us your son and he's going to die. The priest can't make that kind of call.
Yeah.
But guess what? That does not mean God can't.
Oh yeah,
I
most
don't
of.
I don't mean that. So everybody get that discombobulated and mixed up with well, my father's sin and that has nothing to do with me. Hold on, playboy. Hold on. That first off, this account has nothing to do with you. You're an Edomite. Second off, that's going into the judges and the priests dealing with men on a equal level. But when it comes to God, we know David lost his son because of his sin. What do we say then? Is there a contradiction? No. This is how we harmonize the scriptures. This is how we make the scriptures make sense. But when you
Right.
look at that scripture, you'll get discombobulated. You start fumbling the bag. You don't know what's going on. The law say this, but this say that. Just slow it down and actually read the account for what it is. Figure out who God is talking to. God isn't binding himself to the same laws that he binds us to. But Salaki, I just wanted to make that make sense. Go ahead.
Con. I'm glad you touched on that. I'm glad you touched on that. That's very helpful for the ones who came across that. Let's jump back into Sirach 48. We probably have verse like what 6.
Let's see. Yes. Sorry, 48 verse 6. It says, Who broughtest kings to destruction, and honorable men from their bed, who heardest the rebuke of the Lord in Sinai, and in Horeb the judgment of vengeance, who anointest kings to take revenge, and prophets to succeed after him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna read verse 9 because it go into it too, and we can grab that count. It says, who was taken up in a whirlwind of fire, and in the chariot of fiery horses.
Bro, to the naked eye, you won't understand nothing that means. Oh man, this is actually deep. It says Elijah anointed kings to take revenge and prophets who was going to rule or succeed after him. It says then Elijah was taken up in a whirlwind of fire and then a chariot of fiery horses. What does that mean? What do you mean he was taken up in a whirlwind of fire? We got to jump into the account now, man. I want to say it's First Kings 19 or Second Kings 19.
Yeah, Second Kings. I'm looking at chapter 2.
You looking at chapter 2? What?
Yeah, I think chapter 2 is where he was taken up.
Oh, Second Kings chapter 2?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Let me go to Second Kings.
But real quick, while you finding that, Salakia, if you check this out, if you just jump into Sirach and you read these things and you haven't read Kings, because me and Mahar has been all through and out Kings in these last couple breakdowns. We're not just staying in one cohesive area and he kind of did this and then we keep reading. No, Elijah is spread out through the books of Kings. You got to understand that. You got to read this chat. You got to read these books and then go over there to see what Sirach is talking about. Then it's going to all make sense. Like, oh, okay, he did this right here. And then he did this over here. Because we were just in First Kings just a second ago. Then we jumped Second Kings. Then we may got to jump, back to First Kings. We got to jump back up over. You got to get into these books, man. Salakia, did you find it?
Yeah, that's what you said. That's what I was looking for.
Kind of, where you want me to start at?
Man, kind of from the top. That's crazy, bro. We don't have to read. We don't have to read all the way the end of it because the main part is kind of early.
God.
Okay.
2 Kings 2 and verse 1. And it came to pass when the Lord would take up Elijah into heaven by a whirlwind, that Elijah went with Elisha from Gilgal. And Elijah said unto Elisha, tarry here, I pray thee, for the Lord hath sent me to Bethel. And Elisha said unto him, as the Lord liveth, and as thy soul liveth, I will not leave thee. So they went down to Bethel. And the sons of the prophets that were at Bethel came forth to Elisha and said unto him, knowest thou that the Lord will take away thy master from thy head today? And he said, yea, I know it. Hold your peace. God, that's fire.
I missed it, bro. Hold on. What did it say?
Okay, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start up. Verse 3. And the sons of the prophets that were at Bethel came forth to Elisha. That right there, already hot. The sons of the prophets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's already hot right there. That's fire. And it says, and said unto him, knowest thou that the Lord will take away thy master from thy head today?
That's
so these men did, bro. These men already know what's going on. They're sons of prophets. These brothers already got the breakdown. And then he like, this is how we know that the Lord and the Bible deals with order. You know that the Lord is going to take away thy master from thy head. He's no longer gonna be, he's not going to be your head no more. Do you understand this? He's finna take, the Lord is finna take away your Lord. Basically is what's going on. And Elisha said, and he said, yea, I know it. Hold your peace. Elisha, this is not, if you want to be honest, this is not great. I wouldn't want to hear this. Now, in the grand scheme of things, yes, it's great news. Elijah is finna get translated. Solomon told us that this is the example of repentance unto many generations. I believe it was Solomon who said that. Whoever said it was a wise man. But he said, this is the example of repentance. This is the outcome of what you get. You don't see corruption. You don't see death. This is a glorious gift to receive of the Lord. But if you're Elisha, if you're the disciple of this man, this is not something that you want to see. Even Peter didn't want to see Christ taken away. He said, "Not so, Lord." And then Christ had to rebuke him. Get thee hence, Satan, for you want the things of the flesh, not of the spirit. He had to cut him. This is not a glorious thing to the disciple of a great man. You want to see your master continue on. You want to see your master put in great works. It ain't, the account don't tell it, but it ain't no telling how many times Elisha been with Elijah when he did great things. And he's beholding all these things, right? He's soaking up all this game. You don't want to see your master go. That's why he told him, hold your peace. Baba Kasha, for me at least. Spare me. I understand what's going on, but spare me. You know, Salakia, did you want to touch on something?
Nah.
Verse 4. And Elijah said unto him, Elisha, tarry here, I pray thee, for the Lord hath sent me to Jericho. And he said, as the Lord liveth, and as thy soul liveth, I will not leave thee. So they came to Jericho. Elisha staying on his bumper. He doesn't want him to go. Elijah knows very well what's going to happen. Hey, I'm finna go to Bethel. Stay here. Elisha like, man, as the Lord liveth, I'm with you, bro. All right, I'm finna go to Jericho. Stay here. As the Lord liveth, I'll follow you. And they both go to Jericho. You said what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Verse 5. And the sons of the prophets that were at Jericho came to Elisha and said unto him, knowest thou that the Lord will take away thy master from thy head today? And he answered, yea, I know it. Hold your peace. Same thing. Verse 6. And Elijah said unto him, tarry, I pray thee here, for the Lord hath sent me to Jordan. And he said, as the Lord liveth, and as thy soul liveth, I will not leave thee. And they too went on. And 50 men of the sons of the prophets went and stood to view afar off, and they stood by Jordan. And Elijah took his mantle and wrapped it together and smote the waters, and they were divided hither and thither, so that they too went over on dry ground.
Yeah.
God, look at that. He literally, oh my goodness. A miracle just happened like that out of nowhere. This is how powerful Elijah was. He just, wrapped it, smote the waters, nobody probably questioning. You got 50 prophets standing afar off, 50 sons of the prophets standing afar off. Elijah just smote the water and it part. Me and Elisha kind of got work to do. So it part twain, and then he walk on dry ground. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I think other than Christ, I think Elijah might be in the running for the most miracles done, bro.
Bro, this is why when Yahushua was on the scene, who pulled up on him?
Top dogs of the Bible.
You had
the two top dogs of the Bible.
These is literally big bros. This is what we would call today big bros. You had Moses pull up on Christ, and a whole nother timeline get transported to Earth in a chariot, in a UFO. Let's just go ahead and say it. And Elijah pull up right with Moses in a UFO on Christ.
You know how much spirit that is?
You know what the apostles said? The apostles that was with Christ, they said, oh man, is it good for us to be here? Are we supposed to be seeing this right now? Do we need to leave? Should I make an altar?
Peter back there like, my stomach hurt.
It was too much spirit. They said they seen him in his glory, I believe.
Yeah.
Bro, Christ, the big bros had to pull up on Christ to remind them, yeah, but you do got to die on the cross. You do.
This is what we spoke.
Bro, this is what we got to do. This is The big bros came and comforted him. Bro, we gotta call. Bro, we not gonna be able to finish. We not gonna be able to finish, bro. We might as well just do it right. I gotta grab that account.
Let's get it.
Moses, it's probably gonna say Elias.
Yeah, it is. I'm at Luke 9.
I'm at Matthew 17. Okay, you said
Okay,
Luke.
same thing. I mean,
Yeah.
it should be the same account. You can grab
Yeah,
Matthew.
yeah. You okay? All right, I grab it. So, woo, I'm gonna pull this up on the screen, bro. Let's get into it. We finna get it cracking. Let's see. Let's share the screen. Yes, sir. Yeah. Let's get the boo letter.
Not to get deep, why you pulling this up? Funny coincidence how Elijah pull up right after John the Baptist died. Just a little insider. I don't know. I don't know nothing. No, you know what I'm saying? I'm just throwing it out there. You know,
Figure it out like you, pimp.
just throwing it out there. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Let's get it in. Can you see my screen up? Everybody
I'm
should
on-
be able to see it.
I'm on this phone.
Okay.
So, you know, and I'm on what's the name? So it look a little. My screen gonna be smaller than what they screen gonna be.
Okay.
So yeah, they should be able to see it though.
Yeah, look, I think they will be. All right. So Matthew 17. It says, and after 6 days, Yahushua taketh Peter, James, and John his brother, and bringeth them up into a high mountain apart. Gosh, man, I gotta work on my reading. So you got the Messiah, you got Yahushua. They up here on this mountain. You got Peter, James, and John with him.
Sons of Thunder.
The sons of mighty apostles, right? It says,
I can read for you.
okay, go ahead.
Verse 2. And was transfigured before them, and his face did shine as the sun, and his raiment was white as the light.
What do you mean it's already getting crazy? It's already popping off. We only have verse 2. What do you mean Christ was transfigured? What is that going into? Why is his face shining? Why is his raiment white all of a sudden? Moses came down and his face started shining too. Another coincidence. We know, according to the scriptures, that wisdom causeth your face to shine. We know that having a clean raiment is very important on a spiritual level. It means that you're without blame. It means you don't have sins. You're cleaned up. You in good standings with the Most High. He was perfect out there. Verse 3, unless you got something you want to add.
Yes, Salakia. The word for transfigure, the Greek word is metamorpho, right? If you metamorpho should sound familiar. It's metamorphosis. Metamorphosis takes place when guess what? A caterpillar becomes a butterfly. That's what's going on.
You're hitting it right on the head. This is like, I'm in school again. Tell me more.
He said, I'm in school again. This is the place of metamorphosis. It says the prophet. I'm on Google definition, just getting a quick little metamorphosis. The process of transformation from an immature form to an adult form in 2 or more distinct stages. The etymology means transform or change shape. This is exactly what Christ did right in front of their eyes. This nigga became a light bulb right in front of everybody. What the hell going on?
Bro, he just got in the spirit out of nowhere.
I can end the world right now.
Bro, his spirit grew in his breast.
Right. Verse 3.
Come.
It says, and behold, there appeared unto them Moses and Elijah talking with him.
So Moses, everyone know if Moses pull up on you, something crazy is finna happen.
Yeah. You either finna die or get up.
You finna die or live.
Right.
It don't matter if you already dead or if you already alive. You finna die again or you finna live more.
Ain't no in between.
Ain't no in between. So we know who Moses is. We know he rocked with Aaron and them. We know he was back there in the time of Egypt and them. We know how he be splitting the Red Seas and stuff. We already know how he be just doing miracles and he was up there dealing with God. We know this. But then you got Elijah with him. Why did they pull up? It says Moses and Elijah was talking with him.
Mm-hmm.
You having a conversation with Moses and Elijah. We already reading about Elijah. This man called fire from heaven 3 times to kill people.
He said to kill people.
He killed an army, a band, a garrison of 50 men each time.
Mm-hmm.
This is okay with the God we serve. He pulled fire down, consumed 50 men. Pulled fire down again, killed another 50 men. He pulled fire down to rebuke fake prophets, to make other people believe on the Most High God again. Because they was an idolatry. Elijah just brung a boy back from the dead.
Yeah.
He caused famine to happen. He made rain not hit the earth.
That's tough.
So they pull up on Christ and the apostles on this mountain. Let's keep reading.
God. Verse 4. Then answered Peter and said unto Yahushua, Lord, it is good for us to be here. If thou wilt, let us make here their tabernacles, one for thee and one for Moses and one for Elias.
Look at then answered Peter and said unto Yahushua, is it good for us to be here? It is good for us to be here. If you won't, that's what it means, if thou wilt. If you won't, bro, we can make 3 tabernacles real quick. One for you, of course, one for Moses, and one for Elijah. You don't make a tabernacle for regular men.
No.
If you want
a whole tabernacle,
we will quickly please just give us a few minutes. We'll get to it. It's getting crazy. Read verse 5, unless you got something.
No, sir. Verse 5. It says, while he yet spake, behold, a bright cloud overshadowed them. And behold, a voice out of the cloud which said, This is my beloved son, in whom I am well pleased. Hear ye him.
Bruh, a bright cloud. We already know, according to the scriptures, a cloud is just a fancy word or a coded term for a chariot or a UFO. Period, point blank. We got too many accounts. What do you mean a bright cloud overshadowed you and then a voice came from it? When people get translated and get picked up out of the earth, why is it always a cloud? We see clouds all the time. We ain't never seen a cloud pull up and pick somebody up. We have never seen that happen. We see pretty clouds. We might even see clouds that look like animals or whatever, but we never seen a cloud just overshadow somebody and a voice come out and say, This is my beloved son, who I'm well pleased. I gotta grab a precept on the cloud.
Go ahead.
Let me see. I like this one in Acts. I don't remember if it's a cloud. I know it goes into the UFOs though. Okay. So I'm gonna pull it up on my screen because it's important. I'm gonna pull up another blue letter now. This right there, if you can't understand this, you're gonna have to just, I don't know. You gotta be able to see this. So mind you, we're finna read this. I'm gonna break it down and we're gonna get back to Matthew 17. So Acts 1:9, it says, And when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up. So Christ was taken up. Right after he spoke those things, he was taken up. Let's see how he was taken up. And the cloud received him out of their sight. So he said, a cloud received our Messiah, and he was taken up out of their sight. Now we know UFOs have these devices or the technology to pick a man up off the earth. That's what a lot of times we was taught as children. Me too. I'm still in that same boat because how was Christ received like this? What do you mean? Verse 10, it says, and while they looked steadfastly toward heaven as he went up, behold, two men stood by them in white apparel. So while they was watching Christ go into this cloud, right next to them, two men appeared. And those are two, it says, two men stood by them in white apparel. And that's going into the two angels that appeared before them. As Christ was going up, two angels out of nowhere appeared next to them. Verse 11. So this is how you know it's something crazy going on, because they watching this happen. And then two people pull up, just appear next to him. But watch this. This is how you know that this is not a normal thing. This is something powerful. It says, which also said, so this is what the angel said, which also said, ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? So they're like, why are you so amazed at this? Why are you so amazed that Christ is getting beamed up in a chariot? It says, this same Jesus, or Yahushua, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven. So just how Yahushua got beamed up into a chariot and he went to the heavens of heavens, is the same way he's going to appear on earth again. We keep telling y'all, when Yahushua cracked the sky and he got chariots all around him, we ain't going to look so crazy. The scriptures say right here, just how he leaving in a chariot, he going to come back in a chariot with a host of angels. But it ain't going to be nothing nice this time. The scriptures say when Yahushua come back, he's going to come like a thief in the night. You don't know when a thief is finna come rob you. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. When Yahushua pull up, you're not going to expect it. It's going to catch you off guard. You're going to see chariots in the sky. You're going to think it's aliens, but the whole time it's the angels of the Most High. But the whole time it's Yahushua, our Messiah. But the whole time he coming to redeem the Israelites. It's going to be crazy. The whole world going to stand in awe. Everyone's going to be confused, confounded. But the children of the Most High, they're going to immediately acknowledge that it's their salvation. That is their salvation. That is their salvation. So anyways, we back in Matthew 17.
Verse 17. So like chapter 17, verse 6. And when the disciples heard it, they fell on their face and were sore afraid. And Yahushua came and touched them and said, arise and be not afraid. And when they had lifted up their eyes, they saw no man save Yahushua only.
Right. Come on.
And as they came down from the mountain, Yahushua charged them, saying, tell the vision to no man until the Son of Man be risen again from the dead.
So he said, look, don't be afraid. After you hear the voice of the power of the Most High, after you hear him, you're going to get shooken up. It's going to rattle you. Hey, have you ever been in a car with speakers, and the speakers, the subwoofers, they're so loud that like you can feel your body kind of vibrating?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine a cloud come out of imagine a chariot in the sky. You hear a voice come out of it, and it's just rattling your whole body from way up there in the sky.
Right.
You're going to immediately, they ain't even did nothing powerful yet. Ain't nothing crazy even happened yet.
Right.
Immediately they get down. They was afraid. They thought it was over with. Yahushua touched them and said, don't be afraid, bro. It's all good. By the time they lifted up their eyes, they didn't see nobody. They didn't see Elijah no more. They didn't see Moses no more. The damn chariot disappeared.
Christ in his original form again.
Regular again. Bro, it happened so quick. They was finna build a tabernacle just a few seconds ago.
Meanwhile, ain't no telling Moses, Elijah, and Yahushua probably had a full hour conversation in the spirit. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? They getting through there.
What happened? Why did they come? But Yahushua was like, look, bro, don't even sweat it. Just make sure you keep this to yourself. Don't tell nobody until I die and I rise again. What?
What do you
don't just charge me with it. I know it was Moses, bro.
He said, I know it was Moses, bro. I don't know how. But I know that was Moses and
I
Elijah.
know that was Moses. I know the two men. It was Elijah and it was Moses, bro. There's no way you can fool me. I seen it. My spirit
Salakia.
just understood exactly who that was. Go ahead.
Salakia. Yashar, Yehuda. If you got a question, you can ask it. Depending on the question, we may get to it, we may not. Depending on if we know the answer to it, we may get to it, we may not. So you can go ahead and ask it though. But where we back at? We back at First Kings.
Yeah, man, we back in First Kings. It's a lot going on, bro.
Salakia. Where we at? First Kings. What?
It was me
Second
inside.
Kings.
Okay,
Second Kings 2. Because
we didn't finish.
he parted water.
Bro,
Remember?
there's no way we're getting to verse 6. There's no way.
No way.
There's no way, bro. All right,
No,
so
it's really not.
bro, it's really not how we be doing it, bro. All right,
I told you. I told you, bro. I told you.
Second Kings, what?
2, and I'm gonna start at 8 again.
See, bro,
It
ain't no
says,
way,
and Elijah took his mantle and wrapped it together and smote the waters, and they were divided hither and thither, so that they too went over on dry ground. It says, and it came to pass when they were going over that Elijah said unto Elisha, ask what I shall do for thee before I be taken away from thee. And Elisha said, I pray thee, let a double portion of thy spirit be upon me. Man, that's mighty.
What do you mean, bro? You can't just
That's
ask
mighty.
nobody that. So imagine this. Imagine asking, look, you're never gonna see this person again, and they be like, all right, bro, I give up, bro. Look, you won't let me leave. Okay, just look, what do you want? What do you want before I go? I give you one thing. And he said, I want a double portion of your spirit. Do you know what you just asked, bro?
What do you mean?
Do you know what you just asked? Because you asked him to be double the amount of as powerful as I am. You want to be more zealous than I am, more on fire than I am. You want a double portion of my spirit. I don't know.
He said, I don't know.
That's like Aharon. That's like put me and you in the same boat. Like you don't have. Do we even have the jurisdiction? That's out of our jurisdiction. We don't have the power to do that.
You asking the wrong nigga.
I'm finna die, or not even die. I'm finna get translated, and you keep following me around like, bro. Okay, what do you want, bro? I ain't gonna lie. I need a portion of your spirit, a double portion of your spirit before you go.
The nigga mess around, and cuss me out.
Nigga, what?
He messed around, and cuss me out.
Bro, who are you?
He said, bro, who are you?
Bro, what are you?
I don't get down like that.
Bro, all right, let's keep reading, bro.
Verse 10. And he said, thou hast asked a hard thing.
What? You asking me a crazy thing, bro. You can't. Your favors. Look, bro, me and Aharon got a code. We don't count favors. We don't say, bro, remember I did this for you. Like, that's lame. But, bro, don't come over here just asking me for weird stuff, bro. Don't come over here with, don't bother me at every turn, bro. You know this. It run thick, it run deep. But you don't come over here just asking me for weird stuff. Like, bro, let me borrow your house. You know?
Right.
You know, this man said, let me get a double portion of your spirit. He said, you have asked me a hard thing. What else to say, King?
Nevertheless, if thou see me when I am taken from thee, it shall be so unto thee. But if not, it shall not be so. And it came to pass.
Bro, that's a good bargain right there. Look, if you see me when a chariot pick me up, if you see me when my taxi from God pick me up, come scoop me. Look, you gonna get what you want. But if you don't see it happen,
GG's.
you don't get the you don't get the period. I'm taking the deal, bro. You gotta be on point though. He might disappear.
Yeah, for real.
All right, let's keep getting it.
And it came to pass as they still went on and talked that behold, there appeared a chariot of fire and horses of fire and parted them both asunder. And Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven.
It says they were, behold, in the midst of their conversation.
Mm-hmm.
In the middle of the conversation, a chariot of fire appeared. Now we already know what a chariot of fire is. It's a UFO. A chariot, an old school chariot, if you don't know, I want to actually show this. A chariot.
Why are you getting that? Let me answer these real quick. I'm not gonna put no precept time on them. Unique. How do y'all know the Messiah name is Yahushua? When you go into the ancient and Paleo Hebrew, that would be the name that we get. Now pronunciations may be a little different. Like some people may say Yah, which I don't know how else you pronounce it. That may be a little different. Do y'all believe in the firmament? Yes. Do y'all believe in regeneration? Yes. So yeah. On dealing with the name of Yahushua stuff, you would have to talk to an elder about that because I'm not no scholar in Paleo Hebrew. I'm not, gonna be honest. So that's all I got. You can go ahead, Omar.
Kind. So a chariot. This is a chariot. You will hook up horses to it, and you will sit in the back and get pulled by the horses. This is a chariot. You know, newer ones more. This is as we progress in history, as we progress in time. You got the ones where you can sit in them. You got windows, but this is a chariot. That don't make sense. Why do we keep seeing chariots all the time throughout the scriptures and horses, so forth and so on? You got to understand the slang. You got to understand who we dealing with. You got to just be around. You got to be seasoned. It says, and as they came down from I'm at Matthew, 2 Kings 2. I was finna get in there, man. It says, what verse did you leave off on? 11?
So like I'm not even in 2 Kings no more. Let me see.
I got you. Yeah, I'm right here. I got you. It says, and it came to pass as they still went on and talked, behold, there appeared a chariot of fire and horses of fire, and parted them both asunder. And Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven. So these chariots is actually, they call them an unidentified flying object, but they're very, very identified in the scriptures. So we're going to call them IFOs because we know that is the method of transportation that the angels use. It says, and horses of fire. Now the horses just represent angels. The horses just represent angels. Let's see.
So like yeah.
What's good?
I think the chariots that you just showed, I think it's only one account where they actually took that form. I think it's just one account where they actually took that form of actual looking chariots. This is 2 Maccabees 5:1. It says about that same time, Antiochus prepared his second voyage into Egypt. And then it happened that through all the city for the space almost of 40 days, there were seen horsemen running in the air in cloth of gold and armed with lances like bands of soldiers, and troops of horsemen in array, encountering and running one against another with the shaking of shields, and multitude of pikes, and drawing of swords, and casting of darts, and glittering of gold ornaments, and harness of all sorts. It says, wherefore every man prayed that the apparition might turn good. So I think that's the only account where you see chariots or angels or spirits taking that form of ancient chariots. I don't know any other account where they actually took the form of, you know, shield buckler type deal. You know, this is this precept.
Con. So check this out. So you got to understand that when you see a man on a chariot, in the chariot, and he got horses, it represents power. It represents might. It represents his majesty, royalty. These things, you don't just catch a peasant in the chariot getting pulled by horses and the chariot decked out in gold. No, you see mighty men, men who have power in those things. Now, the horses itself represents power. Whenever you go out to war, a lot of times one of the main people you want to stay away from is the men that are on horses. They're known as the horsemen, and they have their own fleet. That's what an army is made up of back then. You would have your men who out there, but you would have your horsemen. Now, what's so powerful about your horsemen is they have more speed than regular men. So if you want to flank somebody, whenever you push in the war and the both ends are colliding, a lot of times you'll see people will use the horsemen. The strategy is they will use the horsemen to wrap around the back of their flanks, the back of their army, and to start attacking them from the back. So now you're sandwiching your opponents. You got your horsemen who's wrapping around them, and you got your forefront men who's doing their thing with their swords, their shield, their spears, so forth and so on. You might even have people out there. It just depends on where the battle was set array. You have archers. If you got a tower, you have all kind of stuff popping off in war. Mind you, the horses, they are known for their speed and their power. Hey, can you grab Isaiah 31? You'll probably know whenever you see it. It might be 31 at the top. I'm gonna kind of turn there too.
Kind of. It's Isaiah chapter 31, verse 1. It says, "Woe unto them that go down to Egypt for help, and stay on horses, and trust in chariots, because there are many, and in horsemen, because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord."
See, a lot of times our people would overly rely on Egypt. Anytime we get into a pickle with another nation, we immediately trying to go run back into Egypt. Mind you, the Most High God been and told us never to go back into Egypt, especially not as an entire group of people. We shouldn't be relying on them. We should be relying on the Most High God, our power, Yahweh. Instead of relying on Yahweh, we would try and go back to Egypt because Egypt had a mighty army. They had a lot of horsemen and chariots. And we knew that the chariots and the horsemen is super, super mighty. They're strong. They have such an advantage for their speed, their power, their height. Whenever you are in traffic, let's just say you held up in traffic and you in your little car, and you can't see over the van that's in front of you. Now you're at a disadvantage. You can't see what's ahead of you in traffic. Vice versa, if you was in a diesel and you sitting up high, you would be able to see like, okay, it was a wreck up ahead. Man, let me get in this lane moving quicker, this, that, and the third. Height advantages are real key. That's why Jerusalem, that's why the city of David, that's why the stronghold was in Zion, because it was built on a hill. And when you go into warfare, you always want to have the higher elevation of land because you can see what's going on the battlefield. When you're on the top of a horse, you can see what's going on in the battlefield. Not only this, even today, every car, it'll tell you it comes with X amount of horsepower. Horses is symbolic, is known as power. Whenever you got a horse, you got power. You got more power, more speed, more height advantage, more force. More force when you're on the horse. You want to have a horse. You can get in and out of stuff. Would you rather walk a mile or would you rather get carried a mile on a horse? It's easy. You're gonna get on that horse. Anyways, I went through all of that to help paint the picture on just horses. You got to have that kind of information to be able to understand why the Most High calls them chariots, to understand why the Most High calls them horses, his angels, and what the angels use. When man, see, man, it's only right to really go into it, Ezekiel 1, and give a better breakdown and really just pull out more scriptures. Woo! All right, but look, if you don't, hey, if you don't have it, what you was gonna say?
I thought you was done with your point. Finish your point, and I'll tell you.
Okay, kind. This is Psalms 103 and 20. Bless the Lord, ye his angels that excel in strength, that do his commandments, hearkening unto the voice of his word. So the reason why I went here is to show you that angels, they excel in strength. The angels of the Most High, they excel in strength, and they hearken to everything that the Most High do, or ask them to do, tell them to do, command them to do. And I was pairing this up with the understanding of horses. Horses excel in strength, and they obey all of your commands, but it's on you.
I was gonna say, I ain't gonna lie. I think we're gonna have to continue this next week.
We are, bro.
Yeah, we have to wrap it up right here.
But we got to what? One verse, two verses. I mean, bro, maybe Wednesday.
Yeah, maybe Wednesday. Yeah, maybe. I forgot. Yeah, I'm down for that.
Maybe Wednesday.
Cause it's still so much more. Yeah, we don't work Wednesday. Yeah.
Oh, we don't work Wednesday.
Now we up.
Yo, we don't work Wednesday. Let's go. All praise to the Most High. Hey, and it's New Moon Wednesday, so we should try and do that before we get the everything cracking on New Moon.
Yeah, I'm down.
Woo! Hey, man, how long was we on here? We only got to rock out for an hour. Bro. Did we start that late? I guess so.
Bro, we woke up. We just woke up. What you mean? Bro,
we got ties out. Man, I want to give you a time, bro, but man, the spirit of the Most High, man, it's not on my time. It's not on my time. I want to tell you a time, but bro, the Most High have me doing something else. I do want to do it before the sun go down. That's what I do want to. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna try to do.
But yeah, so Wednesday we can get into it. Then maybe we can ask some, do like a little Q&A. It's been a minute since we did a Q&A. Pull out some proverbs and we can just start floating and just see where the Most High want us to be at. So yeah, Taja, it's always a pleasure talking to you, bro. Taja always hitting me up, like on Facebook and stuff. Hey, Tawada for everybody that tuned in, man. If y'all want to add me on Facebook, Instagram at Maharaka. Man, I be dealing with people one-on-ones, getting to know our people. Really, just I want to learn how to love my people, perfectly. So I be dialoguing with brothers. I know brothers' families. Brothers might even know my family. And bro, really, I'm a normal guy. I'm just a normal. Hey, we really down to earth, man. So hit me up, man. We can grow, as a family, bro, as a nation. But anyways, Ahran, you can pull out your precepts, King.
This 1 Corinthians 15 and verse 58 says, "Therefore, my beloved brethren, be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, for as much as you know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord." Just as Elijah, his work wasn't vain. This man didn't see corruption. Elijah didn't see death. Understand that. Acknowledge that. He didn't see death. Why? Because his works. This ain't Christianity. It wasn't just, he just believed and, he kind of disobeyed God, but he believed. No, that's not what it's going into. It's going to faith and works. He believed in God and also did the works. Also did what God commanded him to do. He wasn't just justified by faith alone. This is Galatians chapter 6 and verse 9. "And let us be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not." We just seen Elisha. He wasn't weary in well doing. He kept following his master, kept following his Lord. And in due season, he reaped the reward of a double portion of his spirit. And in either Wednesday or next week, we're going to get into Elisha. Elisha went just as hard. Elisha went just as hard as Elijah, you know? But stay tuned. We'll get into it. It's on you, Hot.
Man. The water for everybody that tuned in. Man, we grabbed a lot. The last three precepts, usually the same precepts, ending with Sirach 43 and 30. It says, when you glorify the Lord, exalt him as much as you can, for even yet will he far exceed. And when you exalt him, put forth all your strength and be not weary, because you can never go far enough. So you got to understand that when you giving praises to the Most High, man, do it as much as you can. Hey, man, shout it on the top of your lungs if you can. Hey, man, blow the trumpet if you got one. You can't go too far in praising the Most High God and seeking out the Most High God, gaining in wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. You can never go too far for the Most High God, because it'll never be enough. It'll never, ever, ever, ever be enough. If you can't go hard for the Most High because you're around certain people, man, you got to stop being around them. If you can't out of nowhere, if you can't say, man, all praises to the Most High God, Yahweh, Shem Mashiach, Yahweh Shai. If you can't say that around the people you're around, look, you got to be you're not around the right people. If you can't out of nowhere just do a dance for the Most High, look, you got to change your company. You got to change your circle up. But the water for everybody, rocking out with us, getting into Sirach 48 with us, reading about our forefathers and helping us get in the spirit for camp. And man, we want to thank the water for y'all being consistent and just showing love, man. So Lord willing, we can get it in next week. Hopefully before that, we can get it in Wednesday, and we can kind of get through this Sirach chapter 48 quicker. But with that, we're going to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shah, Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.